The phone rang just as Daniel was about to leave work. He almost ignored it. It was late, and the office was empty except for the hum of the air conditioner and the glow of his computer screen. But something in the name flashing across his phone made him stop. Maya. They hadn't spoken in months. Not since the night she moved out, saying she needed to figure herself out. For a moment, he just stared at the phone. Then, with a hesitant breath, he answered. Hey. There was a pause. Then her voice, soft and uncertain. Hey, I didn't think you'd pick up. He could hear it, the tremble in her tone. Something was wrong. By the time Daniel pulled up to her apartment, rain had started to fall, one of those cold, stubborn drizzles that made the whole world feel gray. He knocked once, twice. The door opened a crack. Maya looked different. Not drastically, but enough for him to notice. Her hair was messy, her eyes red, her sweater hanging loose off one shoulder. You didn't have to come, she said, stepping aside to let him in. Then, quieter, but I'm glad you did. The apartment was dimly lit, half-unpacked boxes still against the wall. A candle flickered on the coffee table beside an untouched mug of tea. Daniel sat across from her on the couch. Neither of them spoke at first. He waited. She always needed a little time before her words caught up with her emotions. Finally, she exhaled. It's Mom. She's in the hospital again. I didn't know who else to call. He felt a weight drop into his chest. Maya's mother had been battling cancer for 2 years. He remembered the hospital rooms, the smell of disinfectant, the late-night coffee runs. And now, despite everything, here they were again, both exhausted, both still tied together by love and loss. Daniel didn't try to fill the silence. Instead, he reached out, resting his hand on hers. Do you want me to go with you? She looked at him, eyes glistening. Would you? Of course. The drive to the hospital was quiet. Outside, rain streaked the windows like the sky was grieving with them. Inside, the soft hum of the car filled the space where words couldn't. When they reached the hospital, Maya hesitated before getting out. I'm scared, she whispered. Daniel gave a faint smile. You don't have to be strong all the time. Not tonight. She nodded, gripping his hand tighter as they walked in together. They stayed for hours, watching her mother sleep, listening to the steady rhythm of the heart monitor. Maya leaned her head against Daniel's shoulder. For the first time in months, she didn't feel alone. Around midnight, the nurse stepped in and told them her mom's condition was stable. Relief washed over her face like sunlight breaking through clouds. When they finally left, the rain had stopped. The air smelled clean, new. Back at her apartment, she sank into the couch, emotionally drained but lighter somehow. Daniel stood to leave, but she reached for his hand. Stay, she said softly. Just for a bit. He hesitated, then sat beside her. They didn't talk, didn't need to. Sometimes silence said everything. After a moment, she leaned across the couch, eyes searching his. You didn't have to come, she murmured. Then she smiled, a small, grateful smile that carried more warmth than words ever could. But I'm glad you did. Daniel didn't realize it then, but that night changed everything. Not because they rekindled what they once had, but because they remembered something deeper, that kindness, even after heartbreak, still matters. Months later, when Maya's mother recovered enough to go home, she told Daniel. You know, sometimes the people who show up, even when they don't have to, are the ones who heal us the most. He didn't have an answer for that. He just smiled. Because he knew it was true.